what's up, everybody, and welcome to Marketing Today's show. I'm so super excited to have a special, super awesome guest in the house today. His name is Adewale, and he is going to be talking to us about e-commerce and how to get started. So, without further ado, let's put a round of virtual applause, for Mr. Adewale Adejumo. How you doing, Adewale?
I'm all right, man. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, buddy. Listen, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, so can you just just to make sure that nobody pronounces your name wrong. So how do you say your name?
Adewale Adejumo, but people just call me Wale. Wale like the rapper. Go yeah, my name is Wale.
All right. Super
Yes,
cool, man.
that's it.
Super. So a lot of people don't know this. I mean, you've been in, you've got a B science, I think it is in, what is it? I think genetics. And, in part, something else you've done. You've been, you're an educated guy. I mean, you were already on track to doing so well in the world that we know it as. But you somewhat changed that approach. I mean, you've shifted your direction to something totally new. Tell us why. Why did you do that shift? I mean, to society standards, you were doing well. But why did you make that shift to become an entrepreneur and start a business?
Okay, so for me, that shift started. Excuse me. That shift started to happen for me back in 2010. Because in 2010, I was doing a master's in plant pathology, but I was more in like forestry and plant breeding and horticulture sort of like vibe. And at that time, my goal was to one day have my own seed production company. And while I was doing that master's, I met some guy who was in his 40s and he was telling me that in order for me to be able to get like the type of funding that I would need, first of all, I have to be a Black South African. I'd have to have been working in the industry for about 10 years and probably even needed a PhD. And that wasn't looking good for me because I'm Nigerian born. And also in 2010 as well, I went and traveled to Korea for it's like the World Cup of all the top scientists for forestry, and to be honest, it wasn't something that was really appealing to me. And at that time, I really just wanted to do stuff online. I didn't like having to go to the office and then going to the field, in the sun, measuring plants and measuring trees. I really didn't enjoy that. And it was actually a year later. So it was towards the end of towards the end of 2011 that me and a friend, we were both like, he was also doing his master's in agricultural engineering. And we were both sort of like talking about like what we actually wanted to do with our lives, because he was talking about he wanted to be an investment banker. I was talking about I wanted to be a financial advisor. And we were like, you know what? Let's just go and find out how we can do this. So then the same day we were having a discussion, we went to this postgrad diploma center to sign up for finance, banking, and investment, which was a postgrad diploma. This was while we were still registered for masters. And they were like, yeah, sure, but you guys cannot do it for degree purpose. You guys have to take it for non-degree. So we were studying this entire course for no degree whatsoever. I mean, that's what people do these days. You just go onto YouTube, you take courses online, but we were still traditionally students, right? So it was like a new thing for us. And that was how me personally, managed to pivot, went and did finance, banking, investments, and also did marketing. And around the same time was when I just started to like sell goods to my friends. Because just before that, I was writing blogs because I wanted to work online. I was writing on blogs and I was writing about how you can work from home. And one of the ideas I wrote about was people can buy goods from China, tablets, game controllers, USB flash sticks, OBD, ELM tools, and you can sell them to people here in South Africa, either on marketplaces or you can sell it on classified sites. And I was doing that. And for me, that was actually growing really, really fast. So I was taking all the knowledge I was learning from the finance, from the marketing, courses, and I was applying them into my business. And I realized there was one thing that I needed to know very well, which was digital marketing. Because while I was writing the blog, I knew about AdSense, and I knew about Google AdSense, and I knew about, like, being a publisher of like ads, but I didn't know how you become the advertiser to actually advertise your products. So then
Yeah.
I went in, yeah. So then I then went and took even more courses, School of Hard Knocks, wasted a lot of money as well,
Mm.
learning Google Ads, and learning other digital marketing venues to actually to just get my product out to as many customers as possible. So that's essentially how everything started, how I pivoted from being a scientist. And by the time I finished my master's in 2013, it was more of a a whole year of doing nothing. And then the
Mm.
last 2 weeks of the year, I just completed the final pieces to ending my master's so I can be done with that and then just concentrate fully on my online, which is what I'm doing right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
It's unbelievable how, one decision can shape your entire destiny. I mean, you said the last 2 weeks of the year, you literally made a change and you literally transformed everything. I'm sure you are, but are you proud of that decision? And what would you say to somebody that, about to start a business, about to say, I'm going to leave what I was doing for so long, and I'm going to start something brand new. What would you say to somebody to encourage them to make that decision and that shift in their lives?
Well, it depends. It depends on what it is that you live in. Because remember, for me, I was a student. I was in a bursary scholarship. Actually, I was in a scholarship, and for me to leave that and start something, it wasn't that it was scary, because I had like jobs lined up for me. But for someone else who and okay, and I didn't have like bills and and stuff like that, or dependents. So if you have dependents, you have bills, you have all of those things, you want to be a little bit more calculating, before you abandon what it is that you're doing, before and then jumping into something else. But in like, what I can say to someone is, if you're going to pivot, you're going to go and do something else, make sure that you have the education, education side, because it's more internal than external. So you gotta upgrade yourself, you gotta educate yourself. There needs to be a lot of personal development, not just with the skills that you need, but just also with with the way you think, with your mindset, with your approach, with how you deal with people, with the relationships that you form. Networking is very, very important before you decide you're going to jump from this thing that you're doing into that thing. Okay, so my advice is just, for everyone, it's different. Comes down to your situation at the end of the day.
Awesome. So many people don't know I've got a special guest on the show here today. So it's going to be I'm going to introduce him to you, right? He goes by the name of Buddha. All right.
Yeah.
I've seen that you have a little saying that goes, be like Buddha, or be happy like Buddha.
I feel like
So
Buddha.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what is that all about? Can you tell us a little bit about why you have that saying?
So the word Buddha is means the enlightened one. Okay, and I believe that we all are Buddha. We all have we all have Buddha inside every single one of us, because we can all be enlightened. We can all be awakened. Um, and I feel like Buddha is just it's a simile that, because once you become enlightened and you become awake, you start to live life more based on reality. Because a lot of people live life based on their perceptions and their thoughts, their worries, their past, their future, and people don't actually live in the present and actually see reality for what it really is, like how life really is. People are so attached to results, and don't actually enjoy the process of what they're
Mm,
doing. They worry about things that have actually happened. Like, basically, nothing exists except the present. Okay, so being happy like Buddha for me is just it's just seeing the world as it comes to be in each moment, rather than as we all, well, not all, rather as we sometimes think, hope, and fear that the world is.
Yeah, yeah. I think
That's
being
what.
happy in what you're doing is so more important than just focusing on success. Just like what you were doing, and you thought that B Science and what you were going to be doing is was going to be what fulfills you, but then you made that shift today, and I'm sure that you're extremely happy for the decision, and you did what you love and what you're enjoying right now, right? I think a lot of people sacrifice who they are in attempt to become successful, and then at the end of it all, they just fail at everything, right? And so I think what you're saying is so amazing. But on a different note, right? How do you think? I mean, if people want to start up an online business here today, right? They want to start up an e-commerce store. I know I've heard that 96% of online businesses are failing, right? Here in South Africa, but I've also learned that e-commerce is just massively increasing in terms of its growth every year. So how does I mean what is that 4% of people that are doing that are succeeding here in business and in e-commerce specifically? And how can we get people to learn those strategies? And can you just tell us a little bit about what is your experience around e-commerce as well? I know you have a store called Zestra. How did that come about as well? Whilst you're answering the question, if that's okay with you.
Okay. So, one to answer the first one, one of the main things that would allow anyone to be successful in any e-commerce business, even if you develop in software, is to learn your high income skills, because anyone can go with any idea. Like, there are so many ideas out there. There's no shortage of ideas. But you will fail with your ideas if you do not learn the skills for you to bring in revenue. If you don't learn those skills, you will surely fail. And there's about 19 different channels of traction that allows people to actually gain traction when they first learn the business. If people don't know that, you should go and they should just go Google channels of traction, 19 channels of traction.
Mm,
And I know that now in a very, very structured way, because I took past couple of years to I just dedicated it to just reading as much as I possibly could. But when I started, without I just knew marketing. I was like, marketing. I want to get this product. I want to show it, advertise it to as many people as possible. And the channels of attractions that I chose was Google Ads. I did a lot of PR. I did blogging. That didn't really like work for a general e-commerce store. I also leverage off platforms that already existed, because there are other marketplaces that have been around and getting millions of visitors every single month. Leveraging off those guys, leveraging off partnerships. We've formed partnerships with other companies, banks, etc., and they bring their clients over, and they obviously get more transactions going through our system that way. So for me, the main thing that I focused on was, one, obviously getting the inventories that you actually need, okay,
mm,
and turning that over as much as possible, keeping my overheads as low as possible. So I operated from like a room that I was renting for like a
mm,
while, and then to a flat I was renting
mm,
for like a while, and then from like went into like a little garage, and
mm.
then three garages, and then a warehouse, and
Yeah.
and and that was sort of like, yeah, that was sort of like my way of just keeping my overheads low. But the main thing
Mm,
for any commerce business person to have some success is to gain those high income skills, or get people,
mm.
freelancers, that have those high income skills to help them get their products out to as many people as possible.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, yes, marketing is such an important role. I know. When somebody once said, business is only just innovation and marketing. You can just find new products, like what you're saying, innovate, get better ideas, better systems, and then market that. That's everything in business, and especially with a lot of people. I mean, they got some beautiful products, but it's just kind of like hidden under the light. And I think it's so important to open up that box and share it. And I think marketing does that. And marketing is not just Facebook ads, it's not just Google ads, it's not just all of those things, right? It's also things like understanding your consumer, understanding what they need, what's exactly that, we need to serve them well. That means also changing the products and find the product that suits them, right? So
Yeah.
I really get what you say, but I also understand that you said keeping your
To
cost. Yes, yes.
to add to that, marketing is also your copy, the
Right.
copy of your products on your website, because you're not sitting there every single time trying to sell your products to your customers. Your copy is what does the selling. So your copy is working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So if your copy is shit, can I say shit on your show? Okay. If your copy
So you can't take
is
that.
I can't take it back. If your copy is shit, like you can get as much traffic you want onto your product pages as much as possible, but they are not. But your products probably will not sell if you don't have good copy for your
Yeah.
products. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. And that's so important. I think so I would say, like you said, two things. So marketing, and then you said, keeping your cost like low, right? I
Oh,
think
very low,
e-commerce
yeah.
allows you to do that. E-commerce, I mean, gives you that opportunity to not hire a big little, warehouse, like you were saying, and not just buy a whole lot of stock. Like, but a lot of people also watching may not know what are you talking about. Like how do you get stock out there? I know you focus on drop shipping and being able to get product without actually paying for them. And what is that strategy all about for those people that are listening here today, and how can they do that?
Okay, so before I even talk about dropshipping, right? Just know I started off buying products, keeping products, having warehouse, paying 50 to 60,000 rand of rent, 10,000 rand electricity, not utilizing all the spaces, buying racks and shelves for 100,000, and all this
Yes.
cost just kept going higher and higher, and I was really terrible with like warehouse management, because that's a whole specialized skill on its own. Okay, and so I pivoted from that model, because it wasn't really my thing. I really am someone who just wants to work in my own space. I don't want to have to go to be work in a warehouse every single day. So
Mhm.
that's where dropshipping came into the picture, where I then open up the websites to start allowing other merchants to sell on websites, and we take a little cut of the sales that we make. But drop shipping, drop shipping on its own just basically allows people to start businesses without having to worry about invest, where they're gonna find the money for them to actually have stock. Because at some point, I looked at the total inventory in my online store, and it was like something billion rand worth of inventory, and I didn't even spend a single cent to have any of those products. To have any of those products on the website, and that is what drop shipping is able to give to anyone that wants to start an e-commerce company. You can literally go, oh, I have an e-commerce empire, and I've got billions worth of
Wow.
stock that I'm selling, and like you don't have to go and raise billions of rands worth of
Right.
money to have a store like that.
Right. There's literally no
Yeah.
excuse anymore, right? There's like you can do this now from your literally from your home, like you said, in your backyard. You can literally start an online store, and you can sell globally, right? You don't have to really just sell to your neighborhood and to your friends and your family from back of your booth, like you when you started off, right? I mean, you literally can go online right now and sell globally, and you can have what you said, like a 1 billion rand worth of inventory without even like spending a cent on buying that thing. How does dropshipping work though? Like how does it get to the customer and stuff like that?
So drop shipping works like this. If I'm a retailer, okay, I I I advertise products from my suppliers to my customers, and once my customers pay me for that product, I send a purchase order to the supplier, and the supplier then ships the item to the customer. Okay, that's essentially how drop shipping works. In a drop store, because co-founder of drop store, in a drop store scenario, drop shipping works pretty much like WhatsApp, like how you send messages to your cut to sorry, how you send pictures to your customers via WhatsApp and social media apps, where
Mm.
what we've done is we've managed to consolidate like hundreds of suppliers. I think no, I actually know for sure it is over 1,000 suppliers now, We
Wow, that's good.
consolidate their product into the system. So we want to give people like very, like visual, you know,
Mm.
visual access to the products that that suppliers have around the country, and anyone can go onto Drop Store, sign in, select products that they want to start selling, and same way you send pictures and images to someone on WhatsApp, you can
Yeah,
send your the product images, title, everything, pricing,
yeah,
description straight to your website, and you can start selling to your customers. And
perfect.
also, one of the beautiful parts of about this, because of technology, is that when your orders get placed on your website, you don't need to send purchase orders or emails or make any phone calls to your supplier. The order goes directly to the supplier, and
Wow,
the supplier then ships the item to your customer.
wow.
And when the supplier ships the item as well, the tracking details gets passed through APIs and plugins to your website, and then your website triggers an email to say that item has been shipped to the customer. So that's
That
essentially how dropshipping now works in 2021
wow,
compared
that,
to
that's
2013.
that's innovative. That's something super cool. I think so many people in South Africa are looking for something like that. I mean, previously people would go to, I mean, like AliExpress, try to like ship products from China, but then when it comes to South Africa, it get lost in transit and delivery. What you've done is you've literally automated the entire process for a customer to go in. That it's literally just a click of a button, and they can get their products into their business. They can sell products around the world or even in South Africa, and then without even doing anything, as soon as the product gets sold, it's already done. Your company Dropstore already does the kind of the back end of everything. So the product gets delivered, the tracking numbers get sent. So now, in other words, if I wanted to start an online store, right, I could just literally go
Mhm.
click of a button, pick the products from Dropstore, right, select it, create a logo and a brand from a company, set it out there, then market it, and then when anybody buys from my business, they would your company Dropstore would do the whole back end for that.
Back end,
For
yes.
Wow, that's super cool. Now, one question I want to ask: what does it cost for somebody to use Dropstore? I'm sure it's not a free service.
It is not a free service. So we have a free plan where anyone can browse the collection of products that are on the website, and then we've
Yeah.
got a 14-day trial where you can test everything. You can load product, you can sell products, you can have orders being placed automatically, and then the pay plan starts from 99 rand. Okay, and then it goes up to no. Actually, it used to be 99 rand. The lowest price is now 199, 199, and it goes up to, I'm not actually sure. I think it's just over 1,000 rand now. Yeah, so that's how much it costs to use Dropstore. So our thing is we wanted to make the price cheaper than a cup of coffee a day.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so that's where we then came to the 199, because if I think for most people, like, if you can't invest if you can't skip a cup of coffee and invest in something, in a business that's going to be flowing money back into your pocket, then you have no business doing doing business in the first place. Okay. But with that said, we are currently all working on a new product that is going to be offered to pretty much every single person for free. And it's going to allow anyone to even create their own online store and have their own
Mm.
online store with a lot of features for social selling on WhatsApp, on Facebook groups, and it's gonna be free to every single person. And then as time goes on, we're going to have more. We will have integrations into like a Google Shopping and other social media ads channels. So that's coming very, very soon.
That's super cool. That's super cool. I mean, like you said, like 199 for a cup of, I mean, a cup of coffee a day. I mean, that's like, I mean, literally, like, 199 is so super cool. It's like, how much would a billion rand worth of inventory cost you, right? So, are you gonna spend
Exactly.
a billion rand for the inventory, or are you gonna spend 199 to get access to over a billion rand worth of inventory that you can access and use and sell? I mean, why go and spend 100, even 1,000 rand, even 100,000 rand on any product right now? to get that inventory, when you can spend 199 rand a month and just literally get billions of rands worth of inventory for your online store, and you only pay for that inventory when somebody actually buys it. So that's, I mean, what you guys are doing here in Drop Store, what you guys are doing here for South African entrepreneurs is just phenomenal. I really want to applaud you for that. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs are going to be so excited for what's happening in South Africa. I believe it's only beginning, what you guys are doing, right? I mean, it's only getting to the surface right now. And with COVID-19
Yes.
happening recently and the spike of e-commerce, how has that affected your business specifically? Because I know that we've been such an increase in terms of sales, in terms of people using your software. Has that played a toll on you guys, and how has that affected business from Dropstore itself?
So on the business side, it has been really good because a lot of people are googling e-commerce, they're googling drop shipping. We could see the trend rise, and we could also see the trend on our side as well. There's been like a huge uptake and a huge increase in people actually using e-commerce platforms and also using drop shipping. But on the operational side, because we were not totally prepared for such a spike, we had a few issues with like servers, with servers being able to take the load of the new users and the new stores, and also on the customer service side as well, having to get some new people in, put in some new processes and stuff like that, and some parts that you are very familiar with, such as the education part. It's something that we had been planning for a little bit later on. So a lot of people come without knowing much of what is going on. They don't. They just know that e-commerce, dropshipping, Amazon, we're gonna make money, without actually taking time to learn.
Yeah.
Without taking time to learn what it takes to create and to successfully run an e-commerce company.
Yeah, everybody wants to be Jeff Bezos, right? Everybody wants to like, hey, I want to be the next, richest man in the world. So, but I think it takes some time, it takes some effort. But what you guys are doing is super cool, and I understand that you guys are growing. I mean, Facebook. I mean, a big company as big as Facebook was blackout the other day, and I think we always have
Yeah.
those kind of issues here and there. But it also says on the flip side that people are going crazy about business right now. And I think that's where everybody needs to get into.
Yes.
And e-commerce is the next big thing. So with that being said, I mean, we run a software company. Like I don't know if you know that. Like, I own a company called 10x Funnels, and so it's literally a software company that helps people do sales and marketing and actually scale that business. Like we've taken companies that were selling 100,000 rand a month to now selling 300, 400,000 rand a month because of the shift in how you can increase the average order value, how you can get more people to buy from you and stay longer from you because you're building relationship with customer versus you just trying to build an e-commerce store that's going to be the next big thing, but it's not going to be the next big thing, right? Because 96% of businesses are actually failing. So in order for you to sell and become successful, you've got to have that relationship with the customer, like you're one-on-one with them, like this is your baby, right? So we built a software called 10x Funnel that actually is helping people to just grow and scale the company. So I want to know with Dropstore, right? Because people that want to start up an online business, they want to go and build a company like that, and these are the people that don't have any business whatsoever. Can they use can Dropstore work and integrate with other platform outside of maybe Shopify and whatever it is? Can they integrate with other softwares, or are you guys looking in the future to actually start doing things like that and working with other partners and brands?
Yes, that's a simple answer. Dropstore can integrate into any shopping cart. So far, our strategy had been to start with the two biggest e-commerce shopping carts, which is Shopify and WooCommerce, and we have an open API. So anyone that has an account on Dropstore,
Yeah,
even like even developers can actually create a plugin and within their own platform offer Dropstore as an option for their customers to import products onto their platform. So we have an open API for specifically for that function, and in the future, because it's been quite a journey with Shopify and with WooCommerce and with limited, because we're a very small team, we're a small company. So
yeah,
it's been quite a challenge trying to create new plugins, while we also are trying to just add features because those plugins also need upkeeping and updating. So I welcome you
Yeah.
okay, to like after this to have a conversation like with me and get every single thing that you guys need to create a plugin that you guys have within your platform, and we would even promote it on Drop Store to say that, hey guys, this is a plugin for your platform, and anyone that wants to sell and sell their products via your shopping cart, they can easily use this plugin and they can use the shopping cart. So we're not limited to shopping to Shopify or to WooCommerce or to WooCommerce. We've actually approached quite a few shopping carts to see it and to see if they were interested. And yeah, so that's why we actually spent some time to create the open API to welcome other shopping carts and other developers to utilize it.
Perfect. I think that's so versatile and so important, so innovative of you. So I think we would definitely have a chat after this. I will share with our list of users as well, and also with people that want to start up an online business. I'm so excited for that. But listen, I mean, let's say that I was starting up an online store, right? People that are really beginning an online store. What would you say would be? I mean, a lot of people ask this question, like, Josh, what do you think I should do? Should I go this big general route with 100 different products, with 1,000 different niches and a million things, or should I go the specific route, picking one business, one niche, one industry, and becoming the expert and mastering it? My personal opinion is obviously going for that niche route, because then you don't have the marketing capital to compete with bigger companies like Takealot and stuff like that. You rather be the better salesman than the better marketer, because if you think about it, you don't have that money to spend. You can't compete with Takealot, right, for a general store. And also with dropshipping, I don't think I mean, if you look at the prices of the products that are coming in, because you're not buying in bulk, the flip side of that is that you're getting the prices a little bit higher than you're supposed to, which means how do you compete with companies that have bought in bulk and then they have a whole lot of inventory? So I would assume that going the niche route would be a better route than going the general route. What is your opinion on that? What do you think? Do you think we should go the niche or the general? And why or why not?
So it depends. I would say go the niche route, then go the niche route and the general route. But if you're gonna go the niche route, you need to make sure that you've done all your like you've learned all your skills when it comes to social media ads, because that's what's really gonna help you when you go niche. When you go general, you need to have a lot more inventory, and you need to, social media ads is not going to really work for you that much. So you will be competing with everyone else on the Google Shopping side, and need to make sure that if you're using social media, using that, the main thing is to just build up a lead of people who actually shop, and then you can email market to those guys as as much as you want with this wide range of products. So it comes down to how much work you're willing to do, your skills level. Personally, I go niche and I go general. But in anything that I do, I make sure that I just get in as many products in as possible, because you want to offer as many products to your customers as much as possible. You want to give them choice. That's what I've generally done.
Yeah.
But then coming back again, niche
Yeah.
is perfect for anyone that's starting. Just make sure that you learn your social media ads.
Right. So let's
Yeah.
put everyone in perspective. So we know now that we can get a list of over R1 billion worth of stock from Dropstore, right? We can choose that without paying a cent. I mean, I'm just about a cup of coffee a day, 199 rand a month to get inventory, right? Then we also know we can build an online store, right? I mean, specifically, we can use 10x funnels, like what I have, to create an online store, to map out a website with all these little things. And we can focus on a niche or a general store, depends on the skill level. I would advise go the niche route if you're beginning off, and then become the expert in that industry, because that's how I feel that our competition, how we can compete with other people. So, for example, if Takealot is selling a camera lens mug, I mean, they're just selling on price, right? But if you go and you become the photography expert and you say, hey, here's the camera lens mug, it becomes, you can sell it whatever price you want to sell because you're the expert, right? And so I prefer to
Yeah,
go
that's
in
true.
that. Right? So we've got inventory in Dropstore. We've got an online site, right? We've got that set up, and this can be done overnight, right? That's how fast we can set up an online store. And then you say now that the next step is to actually market, innovate, and get people to buy from you through social media advertising. A lot of people are telling me social media is dying. Some people are saying social media is the next big thing. Like, what is your opinion? Like, is Facebook ads working? Is it something that people can get? How fast can people get sales with Facebook ads, Google ads, and all these kind of things?
You can get sales in as quickly as a few hours if you know what you're
Wow.
doing. So social media ads is not dying. Social media ads sales, yeah, social media ads not dying. You just need to make sure that your store is up to scratch. You have every single thing that allows for a store to have conversions, and I'm sure probably with 10x funnel, you guys have optimized the website in such a way that it is primed for conversions. So you can get you can get conversions on social media as quickly as like in a couple of hours, even a couple of minutes. And but back to that comment that you made about some people saying that some people don't believe in social media. Yeah, I've met people, guys who even own like digital agency, and the idea of a digital agency is more like TV, who say that
Yeah.
they think social media is a scam. They think SEO is a scam. And I'm like, why do you think that? Because they've spent money on those things and they haven't gotten any results. So it's a matter of like, it's you need to know what you are doing. You need to learn. Okay. If you don't want to learn through paying for, say, a course and learning every single thing and like say 40 hours, because it takes about 40 hours, which is in varsity, that would be a 40 credit course, right? In my
Yeah.
40 hours, spend like two, five, 10,000 on a course. I promise you, you will spend 1 million on ads for you to learn how to do it properly after you wasted millions of
Yeah.
rands
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
making mistakes and burning money and getting burned. Yeah,
Right.
so it's all about learning the skills.
Right. It comes back down to what you were saying earlier on. I mean, improving yourself, self-development, internal development, right? And I think understanding Facebook ads is so important. People will spend 4 years of their life, right? They'll spend 40,000 a year to get a degree, like what you did, right? When you became a scientist, right? And then you throw that old degree away to go do a 5,000 rand course for Facebook ads and then become a millionaire, right? And that's how powerful it is. I mean, we've got an online store, we've got a website, and then all you got to do is learn how to do social media marketing to get in front of more than 2+ billion people that are out there looking to buy and buy products from you. So I think what you're saying is like literally the next big thing. I think. But what I want to ask you, for anyone that's starting off here in e-commerce for the very first time, right? So now that I've got a store, I've got inventory, I've got social media ads. What do you think is stopping people? I mean, if it's that simple and that easy, right? What do you think it's caused? What are the biggest reason you think, coming from your experience, it's stopping people from actually still taking action and going and starting up an online business year to day?
Belief, like
Right.
limiting belief. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's what stops a lot of people from achieving their potential, from reaching their potential, because a lot of people work with a set of limiting beliefs. So until people actually start to break down any of the limiting beliefs about success, about money, about happiness, okay, they will forever be held back, and they won't take the right and the necessary steps they need for them to achieve whatever it is that they are setting their that they've set as their goals. So so let me just say that limiting belief is definitely one of it. And I was just thinking about this morning because I was thinking about like my goals and just my process towards achieving it, because for me
Mm,
every single morning I take time to visualize my goal with such
mm,
clarity. Okay,
right.
so I stay on target and I stay focused and I take the necessary steps, because some days I don't feel like doing anything. I feel unmotivated. I just
Mm,
want to lie down there.
yeah, yeah.
But then
Me
the
too,
longest
brother.
I ever stay on there after I wake up, it's like 20 minutes after, and like after 20 minutes, then get up and then make sure that I carry on. But yeah, so it's just so one is making sure that you have your goal clearly defined. making sure that your mental energy, your vibrational energy is all aligned towards
Mm.
your goal. And that process is just is lies with you to visualize that goal, once a day, at least once a day, and take steps towards it. So yeah, so that also holds back a lot of people. They're so distracted because they're doing so many things. They're not living in the present. They're living
Yeah.
in the past, the future. They spend so much time worrying and
Yeah.
not enough time doing. You know,
Right.
yeah. And it's okay because sometimes we become overwhelmed, we become tired, and when you're
Right.
overwhelmed, you can just like think about all the work you need to do and
Yeah.
spend all your time not doing it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Exactly.
yeah, so yeah, so it always comes down to the individual, the work they do on themselves, their thoughts, their
Yeah.
desires, how strong their desire is, and the actions that they take. Okay,
Right.
and it always still starts with belief.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
to break down any limiting beliefs that's limiting them from actually, as saying yes to abundance and
Yeah.
moving towards abundance in their life.
Right, right. I think belief is the number one cause amongst everybody that's really not taking any action. And psychology plays such an important role, like figuring out why you're doing this, what's the purpose, and you doing that every morning is such an inspiration to so many entrepreneurs. There's a story that while you were speaking, I was thinking of a story. There's a story that goes where I don't know if you heard the story, right? Where the lady gets married to a guy, okay, and every supper, she cuts the meatloaf and serves it to the husband. And so after a couple of years of doing this, the husband asks like, why do you cut the sides of the meatloaf? And she was like, well, my mother taught me to cut the sides of the the meatloaf. And she was like, okay, let's go ask your mother why she did that. So they go to the mother, and the mother's like, well, my mother taught me to cut the sides of the meatloaf. So okay, let me go to the granny. So luckily, the older granny was around, and she was there. So the better granny said, Gran, like, why did you teach us to cut the sides of the meatloaf? And she was there a little old. She's like, okay, the real reason why we cut the meatloaf, because see, back in the day, our ovens used to be so small, right? So we had to cut the meatloaves on the side to push it into the oven. And so what happens is like that tradition from years ago is a belief, right? And that belief is kind of like a virus being spread all the way down, and people are still doing traditional things year to day. And it's so funny because I've just been chatting with so many different students. They're like, social media doesn't work. Like, who told you that? Like, where did you get that belief from? Have you experienced it for yourself? Have you seen those who are succeeding, right? And I think what you say now, I think is so important, so pivotal. Like, take away that old traditional belief, install them with new beliefs. And I think also being around the right people, like right mentors, right friends, because they would instill that beliefs. Like what we're talking about right now is new beliefs, right? And wouldn't you agree that being around the right people is such an important element, and finding the right mentors and the right advice? Wouldn't you think that would be one of the most important things for anybody here today?
Whoa, wow. So that is so important, being around the right people, making sure you have mentors. For me, this is like my best friend. All my mentors are here. I have mentors all over the world because every day I'm listening to someone's audiobook. So
Yeah,
all the best minds, all the greatest minds are all my mentors. And
yeah,
you don't need to have a one-on-one relationship with them. You just need
yeah,
to pick up their book to have a mentor. And regarding people around you, your inner circle will either make you or break you.
right,
Okay,
right,
so your inner circle are the people that you communicate with every single day, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your parents, whether it's your kids, whether it's your friends, and stuff like that. Those are the people in your inner circle, and you are responsible for the people that you allow into your inner circle. Because someone is because you have relations with someone in terms of family, doesn't mean
yeah,
they deserve to be in your inner circle. Okay, they can be in your outer circle. They're still in your circle. It's just not they're just not you just not that constant
yeah,
like interaction like with that person daily. Okay, and this goes for I don't want to okay, let me not say that this. So your inner circle are just the people that interact with you on a daily basis, and those people will either add to your success or they're going to
Yeah.
add to your stagnation or to your decline in life.
Yeah. Somebody
So
once
choose
said,
them very wisely.
very wise. Yeah. So somebody once said that, if you put, if your best friend, no, sorry, if your worst enemy were to put sugar in your tea, right, and you drink it, nothing would happen, right? But if your best friend, your closest friend, were to mistakenly put poison in your tea, I mean, you would die, right? So the closest people you have, you got to be careful. I mean, the information that they share with you may not always be the best information that you have. I really agree with what you're saying there, Adewale.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely.
let's
You know,
yeah,
another thing that I say is in terms of like your goals, I sometimes say that sometimes your worst enemies are disguised as your friends because because they're just pulling you down. They're not really there lifting you up. And it's not like they're doing it on purpose. They're not there just wishing you wouldn't do well and everything. It's just that it's the energy and the distraction. They're always pulling you away from your work, from your growth, from your family, from your ambition, and they want to waste a lot of your time doing the things that is going to cause you long-term unhappiness,
yeah,
long-term failure. So those people, so there are people that are your friends, but
yeah.
they really are not your friend in the bigger picture of what you want to achieve.
Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. So I really thank you so much, Adewale, for joining us here today at the Marketing Today show. And what I'm so excited about is that we literally outlined a strategy that can make you a millionaire today, right? If you're watching today, I mean, you can become successful. You can start an online business just from what we spoke about today. I mean, it was less than 45 minutes we spoke about this. But obviously, there is some work that's required to get it done, right? There's still some advice, there's still some tools, some resources. So I want to encourage you, for those who's watching and who's going to watch as well, I want to encourage you to start an online business and also get in touch with Adewale here, right? Because he's got drop store, he's got a whole list of inventory. As he said, he's got over $1 billion worth of inventory for just 199 Rand a month, and you can have access to that. And so I want to encourage you guys to do that. I'm also going to get involved in helping some other people here from our side, our community, to actually start an online business. So with that being said, that's a super important thing. I encourage you guys to get involved with. Secondly, we've got a little gift for those that are attending here live as well. So this gift is just something that I wanted to give away to you guys. And I think it's going to be a super important gift. It's called the Marketing Secrets Black Book. And what it's about is showing you guys that once you get this online store up and running, once you get this website going, right? Once you get all the inventory in place, how do you sell this thing? How do you get it out there? How do you get social media to work for you? And I think we spoke a little bit about social media as well. So I want to give you guys this book where there's 99 secrets of what are the best marketing entrepreneurs are doing out today to get sales and get people buying from them. So I want to give you guys this book. You can head over to 10xfunnels.com/gift, and I'll just put it again in the comments here, just so you guys can actually see that. So again, it's 10xfunnels, TENEXFUNNELS.com/gift. What I'm going to do as well, once you get in touch with us, also go and see Adewale for the products, for the inventory. If you haven't have an online store yet ready, then go. I encourage you to go see Adewale as well. How can somebody get a hold of you, by the way? What's the best place to actually connect with you, Adewale?
Best place to connect with me for business is dropstore.co.za, which is our business website. If you guys are looking for to start your own e-commerce company or looking for inventory, if you want to connect with me personally for personal development, a personal coach and coaching and mentorship, you can find me on my own website, which is adewale.adejumo.com, and I am very active on Twitter at Wale Adejumo and on Instagram at the real Wale Adejumo, because there's a fake one.
Awesome.
I'm the real one.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And I want to encourage you guys, make sure to join Mr. Adewale very soon. Follow him, follow his page. Get to grab the Marketing Secrets Black Book. I don't want to stay on the line. I was going to chat with you afterwards about what we spoke about. So again, guys,
All right.
have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys soon.
Cool.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Thank you.